Hey Taurus, welcome to the channel. It's Robin here with AriesFireTarot. What's up? Hope you guys are doing great. So it's time for bonus reads for the month of May 2020, and this is where I do sort of a more specialized reading than what I put up in the beginning of the month. So I'm doing this reading, and it's called Whispers from the Ancestors. So this one is a really cool reading, and it's going to look at which one of your ancestors are present and the advice that they have for you. And this is a pretty deep reading, so you guys might want to like brace yourself, okay? So anyway, I'm using the Tattoo Tarot Ink and Intuition deck to do this read for you guys, and I hope you enjoy, and I hope you really get a lot out of it. So definitely remember to leave me a comment, like what you think of the reading, and I'm always open to new tarot spread ideas. So if you guys have an idea, just, let me know. And guys, I was closed for personal reads for a while, but I am open again. I was able to move to a quieter location. So if you're interested in a private reading, go ahead and email me at ariesfiretarot@gmail.com. And that information is down below in the description box. So let's get going. We're going to look at which one of your ancestors are present. So let me just do, I'm not going to do a deck cut. I was going to do that, but I was guided to just take the top card. So we have the King of Cups. So you have somebody that was very like romantic and caring, and I'm just trying to sort of pinpoint the era that they're from. It's being a little bit evasive here, but I'm seeing somebody that is definitely a family person. I'm getting a time frame of like 200 or 300 years ago. Could be somebody that your family at that time, they considered them to be a little bit of a rebel, maybe a little bit outside the lines of what was considered normal, because they really sort of marched to the beat of their own drummer. Could have come across as being a little bit rough around the edges, but just had a heart of pure gold. I'm actually going to clarify this card, because it's what I'm seeing here is that somebody had to, almost in certain situations, hide who they truly were behind a bit of a disguise. And so it's making it a little bit hard to connect with that energy. So let me just pull another card here. So we have the Ace of Wands. So with the King of Cups, there's definitely somebody that was a trailblazer. I wonder if there's somebody in your family that was like they decided to move to a different location. And for some of you, this could be somebody, they could have been an inventor, or, they could have been a writer. They were really, what we consider to be like normal sort of career paths. You know what I'm talking about. This was somebody that did something completely different because they were called to do it. They were always full of ideas. And it's like the rest of your family kind of thought, at that time, they thought they were a bit of a crackpot. But now in your generation, you're seeing somebody as being a trailblazer and somebody that really wanted to accomplish something and have their name to be remembered, and they just followed who they really were, like their heart and soul. And I really see this as a very peaceful person. And I think that was also difficult for people to absorb in that time because, like how macho everybody was, so it's really a little bit somebody that colored outside the lines is what I'm seeing. So if that sounds like somebody in your family, or maybe you want to start asking questions, if you've got like elders in your family, maybe ask them if they've ever heard of this person, because that's who I'm seeing is coming in close to you right now. Very close to you right now. Like with this huge heart, wanting to sort of pour into your cup of creativity, from their cup, and they have ideas to share with you. Interesting. So what is your relationship to me? So we've got the 9 of Wands. Again, I'm finding this person a little bit evasive, like, what is your relationship to me with the 9 of Wands? I might have to just keep pulling clarifying cards here, you guys. Yeah. So we've got the Knave of Coins. And again, I'm getting somebody that was sort of an inventor. They're definitely on your paternal side. I'm seeing a strong female presence for some of you, but for most of you, it's going to be a male. Maybe it was somebody that was gender fluid. Because it's somebody that always had to stop and sort of assess what was going on and take breaks and look ahead of them. Somebody that might have had a bit of a dark past just because it was considered inappropriate at that time. And with the Knave here, you can see that this is sort of it could be like a man or a woman, and what's the word, you guys? Androgynous. So somebody that was very, and maybe they were an actor or an actress. But if it was a few hundred years ago, it's going to be somebody that was like great grandmother or grandfather, or maybe it was, they were both, you know, because they were gender fluid and they were like pushing the envelope of what was really normal at that time. And they probably suffered with the 9 of Wands and having to hide themselves. You know how that phrase goes, like in the closet. So maybe you have something that you need to share with the world that you're not ready to, and this person is stepping up. Your ancestor is stepping up to help you push that forward. Let's see what generational gift have you inherited from this person. So you've got the 5 of Wands here. So I really think of this card as divine and perfect timing. The 5 of Wands, it really urges you not to like expose your secrets or launch a new idea or something like that. It like, be very mindful of the timing. And like, if you're thinking that divine and perfect timing isn't a gift, you know, I mean, you really need to rethink that, because doing things at the right time, it makes the difference in everything. Like, for instance, 2 people could meet and they could really be inspired by each other, either romantically or, you know, just in a friendship or in a business way. But if the timing isn't right for either one of you, then everything's just gonna fall through. So the gift of divine and perfect timing, and just being able to observe when is the time to make your move, like, that is such a beautiful gift. And if you're not really sure how to do that, you might want to look into like meditating a little bit more and connecting with your higher self, because your higher self will be able to guide you, and sort of trust that. Very interesting cards here. And what are your hopes for me? So we've got the Devil card. So you definitely need to break out of whatever box you've been put in. And this could have been, you know, if this was a family where you had somebody, and I'm seeing like gender fluid, transgender, you know, having to hide sort of what was considered at the time a deep secret. And that could have been passed on to you too, that you're hiding some sort of deep secret. And this is what I'm seeing here, is that you guys, you know, your ancestor wants you to be able to break free of that and step forward and be exactly who you are, which is why you've inherited this gift of divine and perfect timing, because when you do this the right way, it's going to open another portal for you. and how can you honor your heritage? You know, you have to take whatever energy is around you and make it work for you with the Chariot. And this is an extremely chaotic Chariot. You know, it seems like it's a little bit out of control and the horses are lunging, but if you look a little bit closer, they're almost perfectly posed together and the height of them is the same. And, you know, the character in the card, he looks very much calm and in control. So you have to remember that. I'm going to show you the faces of these two court cards again. Very calm and in control. You know, observing the King of Cups, like watching other people, sensing their emotions. The Knave, waiting for messages, you know, and this is going to relate to your abundance too. Because once you start to be able to see how other people are working, you know, their minds, and you can start looking a few steps ahead of them, and then you'll start to receive these ideas also from your ancestor on how to move forward. But you're going to have to be able to control the energy around you with the Chariot and break the chains that somebody else gave to you. These are not chains that you gave yourself. And I'm sensing there's sort of like a generational shame somehow. You know, and once it's in your DNA, it does pass. And somebody could have gone to your ancestor and tried to like exorcise them. You know what I mean? They could have been demonized because of their preferences or whatever, or their ideas. Especially women were not allowed to, you know, study medicine, or really, you know, the length of ladies' dresses were measured in the streets and stuff like that. So there was very little freedom. And then when you sort of carry that down generation upon generation, the energy, it gets locked in your DNA. And somebody could have made your ancestor take a vow of chastity or a vow of poverty, or, you know, like disavow pleasures, you know, if they were trans or bi, or, you know, just whatever gender fluidity they preferred. They could have been, you know, somebody could have tried to cast the devil out of them, you know, so that vow would come down to you too. So I'm seeing here that's where the devil is coming in, because you're being chained to a vow that you didn't make, but you still feel obligated to it. And now you're starting to feel like you need to break free from that, which is why you've got the Chariot card, and your ancestor is going to support you through that. Interesting. So let's see any healing messages from your ancestors. So you've got the Ace of Cups here. So like I really just see where you're being really surrounded, and we started with the King of Cups, and he's coming in to sort of emotionally support you, and then the Ace of Cups. So I'm really seeing that, you know, and once your ancestors pass and then they reunite with the rest of your ancestors that pass, everybody's on a soul level, so the energy completely changes. So even if you're having issues with your like human family here on this side of the veil, everyone else on the other side, your soul family, they totally understand what you're going through. So it's you're going to be surrounded by like a legion of your ancestors, and they're going to come forward. And this person here from like, let's say 200-300 years ago, and for some of you I'm seeing like the Wild Wild West kind of imagery, which is fascinating, because imagine trying to be like gay or bi or trans in that era where everybody was like hyper masculine, and now maybe you have those leanings too, but because there was some sort of exorcism performed or a vow or disavow performed, everything's all chained up here, you guys. But you know, everything's gonna pivot for you guys. your ancestors are stepping forward, and all you have to do is breathe and allow them to come in and to help you traverse this kind of difficult path that you're going on. And even if it's not got something to do with your sexuality, it could have something to do with you know, you want to do something different than what the family wants you to do. You might want to move away or take a university course or do something that they just wouldn't approve of. So you have somebody that's been through it, and then a legion of your soul family going to support you through this. So I think you have very interesting cards here, and just know that whatever sort of battle that you're dealing with, they'll step forward. All you have to do is beckon them. And you probably feel it already, you know, when you're meditating or when you're walking, or maybe you're getting like little tugs on your heart that everything's going to be okay. So you need to listen to that, because this is your chance to break a generational curse here, is what I'm seeing. No pressure. So anyway, guys, this is a really cool reading, and I hope you think so too. And I hope you were able to draw some strength and power from this. So take care, guys. Take care.